Look, they misspelled slang. That's where the slang goes. I don't know why they call it a sling. Around here, we call it a slang. We gotta take a break from wiring for this episode right here, because in this box is the most significant parts of Project Snake Eyes. Now, I've kind of hinted what I might be doing something different on the outside, but I haven't said what I was doing. So we did the liner extreme on the inside. So now you get to see what I'm gonna do on the outside. And what we have in here is what we're doing. We're gonna do a wrap. This wrap is called A-TACS Ghost Camouflage. That's A-T-A-C Ghost Camouflage, or Ghost pattern. This is gonna be really cool. This is what makes Project Snake Eyes right here, folks. So I have a company in Gastonia, North Carolina, has made this for me. I sent him the measurements for each panel, and basically he panelized everything for me. He made everything 2 inches bigger, including the doors, which I'm going to order some doors. So, but for now, we've got everything that we need to do the truck itself. And it's very well packed. It's basically on a roll. Get this out. Super excited about this. You see that? That's gonna be bad to the bone. Project Snake Eyes. There ain't another Humvee out there like this. So now, strip it all down. I gotta degrease everything on this truck. Take everything off of it, every little bolt, nut that's on here, where they had the little straps for the cargo carrier, I gotta take it all off. Because the more I have on here, the less this won't go on as well. Even all the little stickers. So that's what we're doing for this episode. This is what's making it all come together. Nuts right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 3/8. Hood strip. So we're completely stripping down the metal all the way, taking everything off we can, reflectors, taking out the buckets for the side marker lights. I got new buckets for the tail lights. I got to clean off all this caulk that they have for the radio antennas. But basically, even here, there's these support brackets that are inside that have these 7/16 nuts and bolts. for holding on the brackets for the canopy cover if you had a cover on it. So taking off everything, basically leaving nothing but rivets. So when we go to put the wrap on, all that stuff we'll put back and we'll paint it, and so it'll be black. And then everything will be nice and clean here on just the panel itself. So we got this whole passenger side stripped down. I've got a new pillar neck for the fuel. Got the seat belts off. Then we gotta clean all this up, degrease it, start putting some wrap on it. So I gotta do the driver's side and we'll be ready to try some wrap. All right, got everything stripped from these fenders, and I tell you what, if you don't have a 7/16 deep well, short well, whatever, this thing has got so many 7/16 bolts and nuts on it, it's crazy. Where this Marine Corps version has the forwarding kit, which these two holes from a previous episode, I said I didn't know what they were for, but that's where the main forwarding exhaust stack bolts through, and there's a bracket right here, so all of these bolts had to come off, so we got nice and smooth. And now we have half of the North Carolina coastal region sand on my floor, so we're gonna back this thing out and wash it. Wash it really good, and we'll get all this other caulk and stuff off. We'll degrease it, and then we'll be ready to try to put the wrap on. Good and clean, everything's off of it. Bare metal. Let's back it out and wash it. Quick tip, since we're just washing it and we don't want to use any like turtle wax, has wax stuff in it, just regular dish soap. It's kind of nasty. It's been under my garage sink. This doesn't have wax in it. We want to try to remove all the wax. So after we wash it, we're going to use, you've seen it before, but it works great. One Choice acrylic clean wax and grease remover. This stuff works great because it even got the power steering fluid off the driver's side. Let's wash it. Got the truck all clean. I still need to degrease it, but I'm trying to get this layout done for the A-TACS camouflage. This came from Image 360 in Gastonia, North Carolina, and they did a really good job. Everywhere this white you see here is labeled, telling me exactly where it goes. So it says like front fender, you know, below driver's side door, rear driver's side fender, rear top fender. So this is where I'm going to start because I've got it all clean and ready to go. And the sides, the pattern matches up. So camouflage, you want it to match up, you don't want it to be different. And obviously it's printed to be 2 or 3 inches larger than what I need. but the tops are not matching up, so they're going to be separate. So I'm probably going to start on this rear fender just to get a feel for the vinyl and see how it goes down over all these rivets. That's the layout. Let's see what we do to get it in. All right, this ain't no joke. It looks cool, looks good from a distance. This is the first time I've ever done a wrap now. Granted, as you can see, we got some creases and trying to get around every one of these rivets. I got to figure that trick out. Looks like I'm going to have to go to YouTube. Some guys put wraps on airplanes and stuff all the time, so somebody's had to figure out how to do the rivets easier, because what happens is it traps the air in there, and then you got to work the vinyl around it with a little bit of heat. This took me about an hour, a little over an hour. And then you got the indentions too. It's going to be fun. It's going to look great, but it's going to take a while. So we'll keep plugging at it. Okay, got a little further along here. As you can see, we got the rocker panel on. We got the side fender on. Didn't film all those because I want to make sure I got it down right. And I did find out how you handle the rivets. This thing called a rivet brush. You have to have this because without this, it takes forever and it doesn't look good. So essentially what you're doing, and you can see this rocker panel, I've pretty much got it down pat, is you gotta poke a little air and then take the rivet brush and rivet around it, and it turns great. I'll show you in a minute, a close-up example, but want to bring you up to date where I am. I need some squeegees and I've ordered them. So I've been making do with a Bondo applicator. And you gotta have a very sharp X-Acto knife. You can basically run this on a couple of panels and then replace it, because you gotta really have that to get these edges. So struggling with how the vinyl matches up to the liner extreme. Essentially it's going right up to my tape line. It makes a really good place to cut the vinyl. And so what I do is I heat it up with a heat gun and use rivet brush and kind of run it up onto the liner extreme. And then you can see it, how it comes through. It gives you a good clean cut line. You still need like some sort of straight edge to make sure you get a good straight line. So we got the rest of the truck to do. The hood is going to be a challenge because it's one massive piece and it doesn't cover the sides. I have a side for the hood. So I need some what's called knifeless tape to get those edges where the side and the hood piece meets, and it's on the way today. So I want to go ahead and do this front panel here. It's a small piece. I'll show you how we line it up, and I'll show you how we install that. And then I'm probably going to stop there and be scaredy cat on the hood until tomorrow and go ahead and work around the other side. So man, it looks good though. I can't wait to get it out in the sun. It kind of turns green. You know, it's black and white. It's gray and white. It's all kind of shades of gray, but it messes with your eyes. Sometimes it looks like it's got green to it. So I guess that's the ghost part of it. A ghost could be a specter. It's green or is it black and white? So it looks good though. It's gonna be really cool. Okay. Again, I am not a wrap expert. This is the first time I've ever done a wrap, but there's a guy out there called CK Wraps on YouTube. If you're gonna do this, he's got some really good pointers. Now he's doing stuff like Lamborghinis and Corvettes and stuff with curves. I can't imagine doing that. That's pretty difficult. I have a tough time getting around the bottom of the rocker panel. But I have not seen, I've seen one picture of a wrap Humvee, and that's what led me to figure out the A-TACS camouflage. It was just, I think it was just a concept picture. But anyway, if you really want to know the details of ins and outs of how to do a wrap, check that guy out. He knows what he's doing. Of course, I'd love to see him do a Humvee because you got, you know, the strengthening of the panel, little indentions here, and all these rivets. And they're not like a truck. You can find people on how to do rivets like on the side of a box fan or something, but the rivets are 2 feet apart. They take a little rivet roller and it looks nice. They don't have this condition right here where you got 30 rivets within 6 square inches. Anyway, so we're gonna do this panel here. And you can remember from my previous videos where I had the catalytic valve was missing. We had power steering fluid all over this, so this has been washed, it's been degreased, and now what you gotta do is take about a 70-30 solution of isopropyl alcohol, which this is probably like 50-50, I just guess. That's all I had. And then get this all clean. I've already done it one time, but you can see what comes off from this cart paint, this chalky paint. It seems to be sticking really well, but I make sure it's very good and clean with that isopropyl alcohol. And you can see I'm not getting much residue now, so I know I got a good clean surface. Now this panel will break on this whole actual panel here. That's the way we worked it out with Image 360s, is that he's got me a piece for this panel. The rocker panel actually came up here, and then the hood will cover this piece right here. So that all lines up, and the hood piece matches up with this camouflage. And everything again is labeled. It says it says all down through here. It's like a computer file. It says driver lower front fender. So that goes here. So what we do is, you can see the pattern. Stuff would give you a headache matching it up, because I took it and put it in the living room floor and kind of got the layout. But it's just as easy to make sure you got your spacing right out here and just go ahead and get started. But you see how those match up. And I'm probably making it more difficult than I need to, but you know what? I want it to look as professional as I possibly can. So it also gives me that I make sure I'm matching the same angle and just tape it in position. So even though I'm gonna cut all this out where it's already there, when I cut it here, the pattern should match up perfectly. So you create a hinge point, and now you want to peel half the backing off and attach it, and then peel the other half off. So here we go. So now we're just finding our edges of the panel, trying our best to work from the inside out, from the middle out, to work the air away from the middle. But what happens is you come up to rivets, so you can only go so far. But what I don't want to see is the paper starting to wrinkle. This panel's sitting really well. So I got rivets, they're all around the edges, so I'm just going to try to get to where I'm going. See that wrinkle there? That's going to wrinkle. It really is a feel thing. I mean, you just got to get in here and do it. But now that I found my perimeter, I need to get rid of some material, because pulling this stuff, this much material, can be a mistake. But you don't want to cut too much, because you want to wrap around, make a nice clean edge on the inside of the wheel. So I'm just going to kind of cut way back. Now let's grab the heat gun and start working it around. And that's what you have to do for every single rivet on the Humvee. It's gotta be like 1,000. I'm sure it's only like 300, but it feels like 1,000. But you see this one kind of creased on me because I let too much material out here. And when you heat it up, it stretches. And what's cool about it though is if you get a wrinkle in it, you can pull it back and heat it up a little bit. It'll go back to its natural shape, but let it cool off. Because if you pull it, you're gonna stretch it. So we'll go ahead and work our way around this panel and show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, so we got all the rivets pushed in, I guess you call it. Got the panel, everything completely done to the edges. So now we come to the edges and we cut them off with a very sharp X-Acto knife. So here I gotta make sure I don't cut my other, yeah. See how good I did matching it up. Close enough for government work. Trying to match that up exactly is extremely difficult. You can see I'm a little bit off. But from back here, looks like it's dead on. So now I'll wrap these edges, which gets a little funky on this corner. Trim it off and on to the next panel. Okay, that's what I get for not checking the mail. This just came. This is a release pin. which you saw me using an X-Acto knife to punch little holes, this has a much finer point to punch holes around the rivets. You're not putting as big a hole in there. And then you can stick it behind your ear. Heat that up. And then it should stick better. Yeah, see that? If you stick it and then heat it up, it'll peel itself back. You know you gotta do it again. And rivets are stubborn. They do not want to stay. There we go. The completed panel. One thing I definitely need to pay attention to is degreasing and cleaning really well this return, because it's, see right there? I'm going to have to come up with some Super 77 or something to keep that back. But man, woo, it's coming together. I think it matches up pretty good. Let's go to the back. Okay, I'm going to show you an example. That's clearly grays of all shades and colors, but pick up a little blue light. Maybe you can see this. Maybe it's coming across the phone. But that has like a green tint to it. All of a sudden, just see that? It's really strange. Maybe you see it on the phone, maybe you don't. Anyway, we're committed anyway. Hi, Mommy. Yes, I'm recording it. Everybody, say hey to Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Say, I love being on YouTube.